Hello and welcome to Meeple Mentor Reviews. I'm Jared, and with me is Holly. Today we're reviewing Dragon Castle, and this is from CMON Games, designed by Lorenzo Silva, Hjalmar Hach, and Luca Ricci. Art by Xinyi Cui. Now, this game uses tiles. What are they made of? Like really hard plastic or some kind of...
Yeah, I think they're plastic.
Kind of feels like a stone almost. But they are rectangular and they are various like Chinese shapes and colors. And if you've ever played the computer game Mahjong, you'll recognize a lot of the shapes that are on these tiles and understand the general concept of the gameplay. The center of the board on the mat, you'll build at the start stacks of these tiles into generally kind of a pyramid shape. And the top layer is, during the game, the only time, the move that you can make is take things off the top. Sometimes also that's something that's revealed in a lower level, but usually always from the top first. You have your own board that you're adding tiles to create groups of the same color to then eventually, flip over and score once you get a set of at least 4. Now, if you can place a tile so that it makes more than 4 in a single placement, then you'll get even more points for doing that. And depending on the color, you'll get bonuses, like the ability to play the roof, little plastic hats that we would call them on top.
Call it capping it.
Yeah, you cap that stack of tiles because when you score one of those groups of tiles on your board, they flip over, and you can put a hat on some of the flipped over ones depending on the number. Like you can either do like 1 or 2 depending on the color and how many you've done. There's victory point tokens to be earned. One of the ways you do that is on your turn you can just remove one and get a point, or take 1 and gain a roof token, because those you have to gain to be able to use, and otherwise you gain a pair of tiles on your turn that match, but they have to have 2 sides revealed.
I like it a lot. I like the kind of spin on the computerized mahjong. It's a lot of fun. I'm always about like matching things, memory matching, figuring out how I can get to this tile from this one. So it's right up my alley.
And it does offer a lot of flexibility on where you place tiles. Now there's a large grid that has to be in, but you don't have to place them next to any other tile. And, once something's flipped over, you can now build on top of those flipped over ones without penalty or anything like that, because the higher those stacks are when they have a roof on it, they'll be worth more points at the end, up to 3 levels. And so you could just place tiles anywhere you want, trying to slowly build patterns that, you get your blue group over here going and the black group over here going and that sort of thing, and try to score them in the largest group that you can. And the game will play like that as players take turns taking tiles, adding tiles, and scoring them when they make a group until you're down to the final level. Once you're at the final level, you can either do a normal turn taking tiles or take these 2-point discs tokens. Once those are taken from the bottom, that triggers the end of the game, and players get like 1 last turn from there. And again, you can either just take the 2 points or take tiles. So you can either do it that way, or of course, if you run out of tiles on the board, that also ends the game. But usually it's the people pushing the end getting those 2-point tokens. You do a number of scoring at the end of, counting all your victory point tokens you've earned, and, if you're using the dragon cards and the other kind of cards, which I think it was the spirit cards, those offer, different scoring methods as well. And of course, the roofs that you put on all of the stacked, tiles on your board, and you just add up the most points, and that's who wins. It's a very tactile kind of game. You're always fidgeting with the tiles.
Yeah.
And that can be a lot of fun. However, my criticism, other than, it's a fun game, but my criticism is when you do score them, you have to flip all the tiles.
Yeah.
That can be really tricky. Yeah, I've got big fingers and big hands, and so the little tiles having to like pick them up and then like immediately like flip every single one in a particularly large group. If you mess up and you're like, oh, that fell off this stack or this fell off this stack, and you have to like put them back, and that can be kind of tricky. I don't know if there's an easy way to get around, having to very delicately flip the tiles. I don't know if there's like a recommended tool that you can use to pick them up. And
Just get a pencil or stick
yeah,
gum.
like I don't know, maybe like some big tweezers.
Yeah.
But that's really my only criticism. Like it plays pretty quickly. Like I mean, it's like 40-minute game probably. Let's see, it's for up to 4 players, but it's a lot of fun. I liked it.
I liked it.
Dragon Castle.
Yep. I'm always about the aesthetic. It's got good aesthetics.
For an abstract game, they did a lot to try to make it thematic, but ultimately you're just grabbing tiles and placing them on your board and scoring the patterns.
Right.
So, you can dig into the art and to what's going on, which is very low thematically, but you can also just enjoy it for an abstract game, and it's a lot of fun that way. Any player, I think, can pick this up. It's not too complicated.
Yeah.
And probably even kids can play this if they're probably 8 or older, something like that.
Also fidgety issues, though. That's something to keep in mind there.
Yeah. So, that's been our review of Dragon Castle. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and stick around in the channel. Definitely hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
See you later.